when we were looking after and to manage children, all three of them were really very easy to look after, very helpful, and so I remember that one of the highlights of the day was bath time, and Maria used to go in first, of course, and in order to get her to come out, because she loved being in the bath, I started this idea of putting a towel down, having rockabye baby, and
on your knee,
on my knee, and of course opening my legs when it came to down welcome baby in cradle and all, but just catch her before she reached the floor. And she used to be gales of laughter. I remember Joan saying to Mandy, "Oh, that's Steve's way of calming them down before they go to bed." And then, because that was so much fun, Michael came in and said, "I want to do the same." And even Jenny, although she must have been 10 or 11 at that stage, wanted it too. And it was great fun, I must say. We used to play a towel game that they went and tried to pull the towel and I pulled them back and so on. So we had lots of games there.
And Maria was going to the nursery school at that time, and so we used to take her to the nursery, and actually Steve had a really good idea, because parking was difficult in the middle of Worcester, so we used to go to this hotel and park there and have a cup of coffee and a biscuit, and the parking was free if you were. And then he used to settle there for the morning with his newspaper, and all it cost him was the cost of a cup of coffee. And I used to wander around very interesting shops in the middle of Worcester, and then we used to come back, and then we used to go and pick Maria up. But we start with you used to buy an apple, didn't you? And have it for her when she'd finished nursery as a sort of reward. And but if she forgot, it was.
I only forgot once. I never was allowed to forget it without forgotten it.
So when on the occasion when you did, we took her to a fruit shop and got her one, didn't we?
Yes, I tried to sort of argue myself out of it, saying, well, you know, I think there are quite nice lot of different apples there, so you can choose one. The thing was that all the mums, or mostly mums of course, met their children, and they all had something, but nothing as healthy as an apple. They had a bag of crisps or a packet of sweets or something. But Maria really loved her apple. She was very happy with it if it was there.
And actually, Maria is such a sweetie, isn't she? You know,
Yes.
she must have been tired, because she normally wouldn't make a fuss about anything, would she? She's a very sunny-natured child.
And at that time, Jenny was going to the junior school, and Michael was going to the infant school. So we used to take them on the way in the morning. And next door to their house, there was an almond tree in the front garden, and the almonds used to fall onto the path. And Maria was longing to pick the almonds, and I said, "Well, no, we better get on, and or else they'll be late for school." So we would take them all the way to school, and then on the way back, she would say, "Don't forget the almonds, don't forget the almonds." So that was a daily routine, picking these almonds up, and then we'd take them home and crack them.
Yeah.
And eat them then?
And eat them, yes. And but when we picked them up in the evening, Michael didn't want to go straight home. He wanted to go on an adventure. So he used to take Steve off, and it would maybe just be to collect conkers or to go and stroke the horses, or some horses.
And find a new way of going.
And for some reason, I was bringing Michael back, and but it was just through the ordinary streets, and but Michael knew the way, and I haven't got any sense of direction, and so and there were so many ways. There were little snippets through, and so he could come a lot of ways, and he would walk along, and then he'd deliberately walk past the turning, and after a while he would look round slyly at me, and I realised he'd taken me the wrong way. But he didn't. And he used to do it often because I just couldn't.
But he didn't lose you.
Oh, he wouldn't lose me, no.
He knew he was responsible for getting you home safely from his school, so did he?
Then for Jenny, it was she had a music lesson, a piano lesson once a week, and she used to ask me if I'd take her, and so I'd take her and put a tape on, which was Spot the Dog, and they were going on holiday, and so we would sort of listen to that and join in the tape when it said things like, well, Spot's dad said, well, after all, we are on holiday, and so on. And so we get there, and I go in and just sit there while she was playing, and then bring her back later, and it was just a very nice time.
And then we had the tapes in the car, I think for all of them, and they were the dinosaur tapes.
Yes,
do you remember?
Yes, I do.
And these dinosaur stories, and they were very good. There was I can't remember what they were called now.
Well, Tracy.
Trace the Triceratops.
Oh yes, I remember her.
Glad you do. And there were also the farmer. What was the little girl called who wanted to be
Katie Morag, no?
No.
Oh no, sorry, this is still dinosaurs.
Sophie. She wanted to be a lady farmer, and there were all stories about her, weren't there? And the
small but very determined.
Yes, that's what she was. And yes, and she went round the farm show, and her parents lost her. Then her dad remembered where she'd be, and she was standing with the great white spotted pigs or something.
Yes, that's Gloucester White Spot.
Yeah,
I think it was.
and but then there were some other stories we had quite a lot of. Sorry, I keep digging my nails in sticks. And that was a series of unfortunate events.
Oh yes.
And there were very gripping stories, but about these orphans, and her wicked uncle was trying to get adopt them so that he could have their fortunes. And there was the most awful things that would happen, and they were always rescued. But in the end, I think they just got too stressful, so we had to stop playing those, didn't we?